trim century of the Hudson, America's school for soldiers, where Cadet Champions parade in the serried battalions as Grant and Lee and Pershing did in the long ago. But they have found there's more to academy life than parades, infantry regulations, and big guns. They fight for the Army's honor at track and boxing and football. They're all Cadet Champions, the finest young men to be found between the riptide of the Atlantic and the calm Pacific. None but the best can pass the rigid physical examinations at the point. But these briskly parading cadets have a long path to travel before they're molded into the perfection of men and athletes, as well as officers and gentlemen. The foundation of perfection is laid in the gymnasium. Every man who ever went through West Point, from the oldest four-star admiral to the newest second lieutenant, limbered his muscles with these self-same exercises. Every action is as regimented as on the drill grounds and has a predestined purpose. No man developed without sweat and effort, and these fellows sweat, take my word for it. It's a routine that reaches every aching sinew, but aches are part of condition's price. A chap must be keen and sharp to travel the 4-year trail and find a commission waiting for him at the finish. The instructors know because they went through the same grind. It's for you. But there is a place for Indian Club, because there's nothing better for the arms, except maybe a blonde when you're strolling in the park in May. But there aren't any blondes in this routine, which is fashioned to make officers whose bodies are as tough as their minds are quick. Every boy likes to swing those bottle-shaped doohickeys in joyous abandon. Only the fellow who shows joyous abandon in this workout is likely to get himself 90 demerits. So swing, baby, swing. And 40 years from now, when you're a general, you'll be glad you went through this stuff. Swing on. These things are called horses, but they'll never take part in a cavalry charge or eat any hay. In these exercises, the stiff military precision of every move is even more apparent than in calisthenics. When a man is through with his stint, he comes to attention smartly, heels together, executes a left face, and returns to the rear of the line. It's part of the ordered discipline that controls every moment of a cadet's waking life. Discipline becomes habit, and self-discipline is good for the soul as well as the soldier. These cadets do their queer straddle over the leather equines in solemn realization that while each step may be painful, it's necessary in the making of men. Men must have muscle control as well as strength. And in the building of men, the parallel bars play a part. You don't have to be strong to do the turnover, but you must have coordination. Power without control doesn't amount to much in men or machines. Fencing, which is no longer a military art since the rapier went out of fashion when gunpowder came in, carries coordination a step further and adds the element of grace. Gracefulness may seem unnecessary in a soldier, but it connotes muscle control, and that's as handy to a cadet trying to make a touchdown against Navy as it is on the battlefield. So go right on with that point, counterpoint, en garde, touché stuff. Those slim and flashing slips of steel are writing the history of the Academy spirit in the splintered sunshine of the gymnasium, a spirit that's as fine as this grand old country of ours has ever nurtured. Boxing follows the same general trend. The technique of the ring is not dissimilar to bayonet practice. You jab and block with steel as you do with leather. The young soldier learns the fundamentals by shadow boxing, and then he tries out his technique with a classmate. For half of boxing is knowing what you're going to do, and the other half trying to guess what the other chap will do to you. But it's just training. A pair of gold bars on his shoulders is more important to any cadet than a heavyweight championship. But any healthy, normal youngster likes a rip-snorting tussle, and when the instructor gives the word, they tear into each other. It makes them forget long nights of study, particularly if they stop a few sharp lefts with tender noses. But they never forget how to make the gentleman's gesture. They'll trade boxing gloves for the call to boots and saddles anytime, as most of you probably would too. Riding is a soldierly art, but it's more than that. It's sheer joy to have a fine horse between your knees and the champagne of a brisk north wind against your cheek. This is difficult terrain to ride over, water and rocks, pretty rough country if you ask me, but there's a fairer field ahead. Then hay for brush and barrier and let the risk take care of itself. Knee to knee, the comrades at the point roar on in a crescendo of hammering hoofs and flying clods. You begin to understand the hardening hours of preparation. Here are men fit to ride or work or fight. All these things lead to games of hard physical contact like lacrosse. Here's war without guns. Ah, there's a casualty, but he's on his feet instantly. West Pointers aren't jammed out of action by a little thing like that. Not in this roughest and most unusual game on the American continent. Sticks slash regardless of what they may hit. There's a swirl of battle in front of the net, but the defenders aren't panicked. They drive off the attacking wave with yells and alarum. Wow, what a bump. It would knock a truck off its wheels. A man's lucky to come out of a lacrosse game with a whole skin. But the campaign roars on. And once more they're down there fighting before the goal. A clean shot. It missed. Come on, hurry, shoot. There's a goal. Talk of the Army and you think of football. So we're going to show you the outstanding plays of a recent game. Here comes a reverse around the soldier's own left end. 10, 20, 28 yards before the runner is finally brought to earth. But the enemy's game and the enemy's good. They strike through the air. A soaring pass that eludes every son of the plains and slams a touchdown across the line. Precision, condition, now they'll count. Army's ball. A back thunders in, shears it apart, tears into the secondary. He's tackled. No, he spins away from it. But they drag him down at last after a swell game. What's this? A pass? No, it's a fake. And the defense was fooled as completely as we were. A drive from the 10-yard stripe. And the last white lines are passed. A kickoff arches widely against the sky, settling into an enemy's impatient arm. For an instant, he's almost lost in the jumble of friend and foe, and there he's through, as loose as an autumn breeze, on his way down the glory trail. He's over for a touchdown. The light blue strikes again. There's a long forward pass. It hits the receiver's hands, skids off, an Army man. Look at that cadet step. What a swivel-hipping, dodging king. That's the teamwork they teach them, and it's teamwork of the most effective sort. But look, a fellow comes from behind and spills him on the turf just to the covered stripe.